This is Straight Talk with Atlanta Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shanan Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Well, welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones, better known to many as Big Papa. Big Papa. I saw Big Papa holding little Sammy today, and he was just patting him on his shoulder like he knew what he was doing. Hey, Shanan, what's going on, man?
Big Papa. Hey, man, I like it when they call me Big Papa, Doc.
Well, how you doing tonight?
Reverend Gurley called me after our meeting this earlier today, and he said, I thought you were coming in with an excuse when you said that you were having an issue with the baby. And he said, then next thing I know, he said you was holding a baby. I said, yes, sir. And he said, man, you're doing something that a lot of us have not done. Bring a baby to the meeting, and everybody knows. They don't just say your baby; they know his name, like Samuel. Everybody knows Samuel. I said, he's a movement baby. I got a movement baby.
And he's moving. Well, Shannon, with the program today, I want to thank everybody who, tell us when we see them, and those who view the program. I want to thank you so much for your comments and your critique of the program of Straight Talk, the issues that we talk about, and the thing that's going on in our society today. Because we're preachers, first of all. We're men of God. First of all, that's who we are. And with all the killing and things that's going on around in our society today, Shannon and I, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because we're going to talk a little bit more about the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. Some people call it not Cop City, the Atlanta Public Training Center for safety, right? Public Safety Center, right? For training, right? For people in public safety, who work in public safety. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that, and on the other side, after Miss C with Straight Talk News. Now, Miss C, behave yourself today. Behave yourself today, Miss C. Okay? So we got Big Papa and Little Samuel with us. On the other side. We'll see you on the other side.
Hi. Hey, Greg. Hey, Shannon. Hey, y'all. This is Miss C. I'm so glad to be with you today. I have some news that I want to tell you about. You may be interested in. And I get your pen and paper, okay? Just in case you hear something you may want to use, okay? Listen. Do you need experienced workers? Many Americans over age 55 want to return to the workforce, and many companies could benefit from mature, experienced employees like myself. That's why the Senior Community Service Employment Program was created, to help make connections between older Americans and employers. Call 770-538-2657 to learn more. Or you can go online and go to legacylink.org. That's LEGACYLINK link. Wait a minute. Legacylink.org. Okay. All right. I feel silly today. The mission continues. A community revival service project will be held Saturday, June 17, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Volunteers are needed for building, painting, planning, etc. They want you to wear clothes that you can get dirty in, okay? For more information, visit missioncontinues.org. And it's going to be held at Shady Grove Baptist, 1147 Osborne Street in Atlanta. And the pastor is Pastor James Tukes, Sr. Flipper Temple AME Church at 580 Atlanta Student Movement Boulevard in Southwest Atlanta celebrates its graduates on June 25th during the morning worship service beginning at 10:45 a.m. We are proud of our graduates and wish them much success. For more information, call the church at 404-522-5020. Reverend Gregory Eason is pastor. Listen, I'd like for you to do 4 things for me. I'd like for you to like us, subscribe to us, leave comments, and then share us. Let everybody know about Straight Talk News and Miss C. And if you have any news that you'd like to share, please email it to us at straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. That's straighttalknews1362@gmail.com. And you'll be glad you did. And in the meantime and in between time, may the Lord God bless you real good.
Well, we're back, and we'll just thank Miss C as always. Thank you for not cutting up this week, Miss C. Okay, I know you sometimes, Yeah, but Miss C.
But Bishop,
yeah.
now she got with them senior citizens job. Now she got them senior citizens. They get on the job and then they start talking about they got to take their medicine. And they whatnot. I can't.
Hold for me. No. I'm not gonna let you trash the senior citizens like that. I'm not gonna let you trash it.
You're a type A senior citizen. You ain't the average citizen.
I tell you,
but we can't sit you down. But it's the thing that they just sit down on there and they take more minis breaks than anything. I'm telling
you. No. You're not going to talk about the senior citizens.
Break,
no.
Emphysema break for the cigarette.
Shanan. I'm gonna tell you this right here, Shanan. You have gotten yourself in trouble because you know why? Senior citizens will work when they're young folks. That's why we ain't got a lot of businesses shut down and things, and young folks are not working. So the senior citizens, they'll come to work and will work what they're going on now. All right then. All right. Don't be talking about senior. That's why they trying to hire some senior citizens because they know they'll come to work.
Don't get me started about the young folks, but I know about them senior citizens. I told one of them, I said, look, if you stop having the smoking break, you won't need the emphysema break. Go take the medicine for the smoking break and all that stuff. You wouldn't have to do that. Taking last lunch. What time is last? I take lunch at 4.
Okay.
Why you take lunch? You leaving early every day.
Well, I'm just saying like this right here. We're senior citizens. We only do 4 hours. We only do 4 hours anyway. We don't work 8 hours as senior citizens.
You telling me I got 2 senior citizen time?
And we're 4 hours. We done paid our due. We done paid our due.
You get there and you to help and to do it.
That's right, and to do it. That's right. That's what you're supposed to be. They done took care of you all your life. So it's time for you to help them. So we're gonna move on off of that.
I'm middle age.
We get
grandkids over there to do it. I'm middle age.
Well, you get the grandkids to help them to relieve you. You're not going to talk about my friends, the senior citizens. No. You're going to get so many comments about that next week. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know you do. We know it.
Anytime.
Well, listen. But the other thing, though, with Pastor Toots and his church and the work that he's doing on the 17th, and he's inviting people to come out. They're doing a whole, this group that's working with them doing a whole holistic approach for the whole of the community. For that whole community, they're working on houses, they're working on the church, they're going to have food, and we're cooking. They're asking people to come out and help out and volunteer to help. And there are a lot of senior citizens over there. We talk about senior citizens who have paid for their homes, but there's some in disarray and just need repairs. But this group is doing it. So come on out and let's help out the senior citizens who have worked so hard. I think, last week, Representative Clyburn said something that was very, very true. He said that they want to cut out Social Security, they want to cut out these Medicare and these things for people who have paid the freight and have put into the system. Now they want to take away from them when they have worked hard to get to this point. So as senior citizens, they work hard. They pay for their homes, but they cannot afford to do a lot of things there in the house. So let's come out on the 17th. Let's have them at the church there at Shady Grove Baptist Church on Osborne over there with Pastor Toot. And don't listen to Shanan talking about the senior citizens. Leave that alone, Shanan. Leave that alone.
I ain't talking about senior citizens. I'm just talking about when you get to hiring them, you got 4 hours to work them, and they're gonna take 3 hours of breaks. I'm just saying.
Don't get talked about senior citizens. So one day, if you live long enough, you'll be.
Johnson, I thought you were supposed to be writing that memo for me over there, help Bible study at the water cooler.
Well, one thing for sure. If you live long enough, you gonna be a senior citizen. And if Sammy get to be 2, when Sammy get to be 2,
I'm a Greg Fann senior citizen. A workaholic, you can't stop him. He always moving. Always doing something. Greg, sit down somewhere. Just go sit down somewhere.
Listen, join them over there Saturday, June the 17th at Shady Grove Baptist Church from 9 until 4. Volunteers are desperately needed. Come on out and help. And Shady Grove Baptist Church is located 1147 Osborne Street in Atlanta, Georgia. That's at 1147. I know Cynthia already gave it, but I want to make sure that we get it to 1147 Osborne Street in Atlanta, Georgia. And also, we asking men to come together on the 17th of this month at 7 a.m. At the Enon Church. That's 3550 Enon Road in South Fulton. The Pastor Gregory Pollock. He's calling and gathering men together to come to have a prayer meeting. And let's come and pray for our children. Now, breakfast will be served. That's at 7 a.m. on the 17th. And that's at the Enon Church at 3550 Enon Road in South Fulton. So, hey, let's come out. Let's pray for our young folks. Let's pray for our children. We know there's so much going on in our society, so much ills in our society. And Shannon, you and I have been talking about the gun violence, and every time we turn around and we look at the news, that's what we hear. Somebody's gotten shot. Someone's gotten killed. When we look at this thing, you know, when Trayvon Martin was killed in Florida, right? And they created the Stand Your Ground law, right? And then we just saw this week where a young lady, because of some incident with her child and this older Caucasian adult, she was going to the house and knocking on the door, I guess to talk to her about, you know, what she had done and what she was doing to her children. And the lady just took a gun, because she had a gun, and just shot through the door and killed, didn't open the door, just shot through the door and killed the lady. Luckily, they said that's not standing your ground. But however, it's too much violence, too much killing, it's too much people going to get a gun. The first thought is get a gun to shoot somebody, to kill somebody. The security guard over there this week working, family man, been having a newborn baby, killed by gun violence. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. But it's not just, you know, we talk about our governor and what our governor did in passing the carry gun law. But you know, the governor didn't do that by himself. It had to be voted on and enacted by members of the House and the Senate. They had to pass that in order for it to be. So we just can't blame the governor. We got to blame the other elected officials who voted to do that and to make that a law in this state. And you got all these young folks running around carrying a gun and banishing a gun and showing people they got a gun. I mean, just, you know, and you know, I go from the old school. I'm old school. You heard me say this the other. And what my mother taught me was, if you can't give a life, then you don't take a life. God is only somebody can give life. God is only somebody can take life. You know, do unto others as you have them to do unto you. Where is that value system at? Where are we going with this? If you lie, you steal, you kill. That's what the older people taught us, and that's how we came up, understanding to appreciate life and appreciate. You know, we may have gotten into a fixed fight, and I'm sure you got into a few yourself, Shannon. But there was never a time that we said we were gonna pull a gun and kill somebody. You know, you were nonviolent. You're gonna sit on this program and tell that, say that. You're gonna sit on this program tonight and say that you never was in a fight.
I said I'm nonviolent.
I said, you going to sit on this program and say to the viewers
Let go
of
further when
Straight
somebody
Talk.
call in and say you wasn't nonviolent when you knocked my brother across the table. But I do want to ask you this, because this
Sure,
is very
sure,
important what you're saying.
sure.
But I want to look back where you started from. Is you trying to take Miss C job? Because she's the one that give all the about where the prayer meetings are going to be and all this. Why are you doing? I'm just now here. I am standing up for a senior citizen. She got one job, and you. This is what I'm saying about you. This is why I'm telling you we have to say for you to go sit down somewhere, because now you're doing Miss C's job. Now, ain't she the one to tell folk to go over to the Enon Church at 7 o'clock for the brothers to get together to pray? Did you get
Yes,
her
she
the
is.
information that she could report?
I did not give her the information. That's why I did it
Well,
myself. If you
now you're
got,
making her look like she ain't doing her job on this show.
but see, I just got the information. So I got the information, and Miss C had already recorded her spot. Since you got to bring it out
So
like
you don't
that,
think,
and you don't
so
know,
when she was on a break, you didn't think she would do another recording? What, you think she was on a break?
Miss C had already did.
You don't think
Miss
she got
C.
a work ethic that she would have added some stuff?
Well, I would tell you like
Now you
this, Miss
sounding
C.
like me, I'm telling you.
No, Miss C had already recorded a spot, and I got this from my dear friend and brother, and I told him because she had already did the spot. I said I will make sure that it is on the night on Straight Talk. So, if you got a problem with that?
Okay.
Well, see, if you got a problem with that, then I'm sorry. I will never mention the gathering in your name again. I'll let Miss C do it. I just let Miss C do it. But let's get back to this gun violence. I mean, really, let's get back to gun violence. This is something that is plaguing our society, and you, as the president of Concerned Black Clergy, have been very, very vocal about the thing that's going on in our society today and what we as preachers ought to be doing in this time and this season, and what the message ought to be to our parishioners, and about the moral fabric of our society and how it's decayed because we moved from that message of love. We moved from that message of do unto others as you have them do unto you. We have become a tangible me, my, I got to have a society. And the young lady said the other day at your meeting that the young people, they're looking for guidance from us, but they're having to go to social media to get the guidance because they're not getting it from us.
They're reaching for help, and they're so thirsty for the help that they're like a person that comes to reach for the ocean when they're thirsty, and they're so thirsty when they get there, if they can't find the ocean, they'll drink the sand. And that's what social media is. It appears to be quenching water, but it's really the sand, and people are thirsty for it, and they're drinking it. And so we need to make sure that we're getting the information. Bishop, I had a rabbi that taught me in seminary, and the name of the course was The Temple. It was the course about the temple. And then we broke down the temple, and I asked Rabbi Shapiro at the Interdenominational Theological Center, I asked him, I said, what would be the temple today? Is it the synagogue? He said, oh, no, it wouldn't be the synagogue. I said, well, what is the temple? What's the closest thing that we have today to the temple? He said, I would have to say dining room table is the closest thing that we have to the temple. What do we do every first Sunday? And some churches do it on other Sundays. We come to the table. What did Jesus do in the upper room with his disciples? There was a temple, but he brought them to the table, and he could share information with them and impart to them at the table. So we need to get back to the table, the family needs to get back to the table. And we need to have a meal together. And we need to talk and grow together. And we wouldn't need all of the searching for misinformation if we could talk about many things openly and honestly at the table.
That is so true, so true. I learned Bible verses at the table because before every meal we had to say our grace, and then we had to say a Bible verse. And you couldn't say Jesus wept every time. You couldn't. Jesus wept. You had to have a verse other than Jesus wept. You had to have another Bible verse. But
you'd be hungry, huh?
You'd be hungry, yeah, right. But I'm just saying is that, but that's one thing.
He wept last week. He's weeping this week.
Oh, if you keep on saying he wept, you're gonna be weeping.
You're gonna be weeping.
So, but there was a certain standard, and the young lady said that better. I don't think this is one of the adults said that. She said that what has happened. She said what had happened is that we have not given them what was gave to us. We have not. She said they taught you guys, they gave you guys something, but you guys have not given us anything or not much other than to go get a good education, get a good job, be successful in life, and all those other things. You poured that into us, but you didn't give us the basic things as to how to deal with things in life, like how to deal with the police, for instance. How to deal with the police. How do you deal with the police? And you gave a story about what happened to you as a kid with the police. And I think a lot of things, people like, well, they don't like the police because the police is aggressive, the police is this, and the police is that. But then I'll let you tell your story in a minute. But there are some officers who are officer friendly who made sure that that they didn't abuse you, but they made sure that you were going to do what's right as a court to the law. Like they're like, man, y'all going down the street. They could have said, hey, listen, come here, I'm gonna lock you up, But no, but they said, you guys break it up, going on down the street, go on about your business and stop loitering. But people got to understand that there are certain situations as to how you deal with adults or people in authority, right? And we've lost that in terms of people in authority and how we respect people in authority. And everybody's not a crook. Everybody's not abusive. Everybody's not a liar. Everybody's not a thief. They're not. But we treat everybody that way. And then there's some officers, and we just have to be clear about it, some officers think everybody they approach is a criminal. And everybody you approach is not a criminal. They're not. They're just not. And every fire that 5 people run into the house, every time they run into the house, they don't know what kind of situation they're running into, because they got to be trained how to deal with situations when they run into a burning building, or even if there's a bomb in there, they got to know how to deal with that bomb or defuse that bomb or get people. And I'm gonna give you a case in point. Just recently, and then I'm gonna let you talk about your incident. But just recently, when the young man went into that medical office and he shot up and shot people in that office, those officers got those. They got those people out of that building unharmed, and made sure that everybody was in a safe place. And then they searched the building looking for him. And later, because they collaborated with other departments, they were able to find the guy who did it, right? But all of that was because of officers being trained. Do you not think that those people whose lives were spared, they weren't glad that those police officers came there, right? Do you not think that they were glad that the police officers came there and diffused that situation that could have been something much worse? I mean, but police officers, firefighters, 911 operators, correction officers, those people who are in public safety, those people need training. And they need to know how to deal with certain situations. Shanan, I'm going to stop there and let you talk about your incident as a youth.
Well, let me say this before I grab that real quick. I just want to say I have members of my congregation throughout all of my life in ministry that were law enforcement. In every church I've ever served, as an assistant pastor, an associate pastor, now as a founding pastor, I pastor law enforcement. And I call them, I check on them, and I can be in conversations with them and just checking on them and making a pastoral call and we just having a conversation like you and I have. And next thing you know, something come over the radio, shots fired somewhere, dead body somewhere, domestic violence situation somewhere, and they say, well, Reverend, I got to go. And I'm like, well, wait, let me pray with you. And it's like, okay, you can pray. But literally, you would be praying for me all day, because this is what I deal with every day. And I'm running for that. You see a fight break out at a concert, you moving in the other direction. The police run into the fight, like you said it. They run, and I'm on the phone with them, and it's something that I'm like, whoa, they shots fired. Well, you be careful. Well, I have to go there to where the shots are being fired, because I have to serve and I have to protect. When I was a young boy, I told the story with Councilman Karn, a group of us, and the Red Dog unit pulled us over on Sylvan Road, put us face down on the ground. The officer put a gun in my back. And my father was best friends with Elgin Bell. Elgin Bell is like an uncle to me. And the Red Dog unit was under his administration. And they put a gun in my back, and the guy told me, if you move your back, I'm going to blow your back out. Problem is, I didn't remember moving it the first time. So I didn't know, I had the Lord to have to help me to make sure I didn't move it again, because I didn't realize that I'd moved the first time. And Councilman Joe Karn, it's funny how folk become what they become. Councilman Joe Karn started reading the riot act. Let me get your badge numbers. I'm going to stand there. This man just told me he was going to blow my back off. I'm literally thinking he's going to blow Joe's face off when we're right there. I'm going to call Maynard Jackson. I'm calling Elgin Bell on you, this, that, and the other. You can't do this. You're violating our rights. This Negro even literally gave some codes that they were violating that he had picked up in civics class over at Mays. Almost gave the textbook name and the page number, and the teacher that taught it to him. But they come to find out they weren't looking for us. They were looking for some young black men in a Volkswagen Rabbit, but it was a black Volkswagen Rabbit with tinted windows. We were in a sky blue Volkswagen Rabbit with clear windows, with untinted windows, and they pulled that back. But listen, there's bad and good in everything. I mean, we sit here, we preach, and I love pastoring people. I love developing leaders. But there's some preachers that are bad preachers and bad pastors. I mean, bad in meaning that they're just not good at it. And there's some that are literally bad, like they're bad people, like you're not a good person. And you're hurting people, hurting children. We read about scandals and stuff. They're bad preachers. They're bad teachers. We read about them. Heck, you can buy a bad car. You can live in a bad community. You can have a bad house. But if you have one bad house, you never buy another one. If you got one bad car, you never get another car. You know what I mean? You get one officer, and now you want to throw all the police up. You want to abolish the police. Come on. I mean, some people have children that will tell them to their face, you all are bad parents. So there's bad and good in everything. But we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I think that's what's happening all too often in the dialogue, the discourse that we're in today. And we really need to check that. We need public safety professionals in our community to serve and to protect.
Well, let me just thank you. I just want to say this as we get ready to end this session. Hopefully we'll have the executive director next week on our program, Mr. Grant, who is with FACA, to talk about what FACA, the program that FACA does in terms of helping people with utility bills and some other things that they do to help people. But we're in the helping people business as ministers. Shannon said that I can't sit down. Well, my whole thing is I'm like Jeremiah. It's like fire shut up in my bone. I just can't. I can't sit down. I can't sit down because when I see God's people who is given to us to minister to, and we see them suffering, and we see the discord and the things that's going on in the land. I think it was Zacchaeus in the scripture said Zacchaeus come down off the wall. He said, I can't come down. He said, I can't come down off this wall. I mean, I can't. And out to the wall city, the city
Nehemiah.
wall to Nehemiah think that the walls of the city are built. So I'm not coming down. Yeah, Zacchaeus. But he came down running too. but Jesus.
You just told him I'm gonna eat at your house.
Yeah, he came. Yeah, but Nehemiah, right? Nehemiah, the cupbearer.
Yes,
Nehemiah said that I cannot come down until the walls of the city are built. I can't come down. I can't come down. I won't come down. I'm going to continue to do what I do, continue to say what I say without compromise or without fear. Because the reality of it is that watchmen, what of the night? What of the night? And we as men and women of God, we can't be afraid to speak truth to power. And the truth is that we need people in public safety, and we need to preach the gospel. We need to tell people the wages of sin is death. We need to remind people to love one another as Jesus said for us to love you one another as I have loved you. And we need to teach our young people about being angry. Being angry. And you're so angry that you want to take a life. If you can't give it, don't take it. If you can't give it, then don't take it. Because jail is not a badge of honor. It's not. It really is not. It doesn't make you a big guy on campus. It doesn't make you a big guy to anybody. But it's what you're going to have to pay for in the end. Jail, they may sentence you to jail in jail time. But there is some time that you're going to have to pay that you won't be able to get out. You won't be able to get out. And we got to preach it. We got to teach it. We got to tell men and women what thus said the Lord. And in this program, it's straight talk. And I'm Greg Fann, the preacher man. And Shanan, I'm gonna let you close it out.
Well, Bishop, I think we said a mouthful tonight, and we will keep watching what's happening with this public safety training center. We know that City Council voted all but 4 votes against moving forward with the training center, and there are those that think that the police are going to attack us. They're going to kill black people, and that they're creating units to kill black people. And I don't make fun of that. I don't laugh at that. I don't say that that's crazy, because there have been police that kill black people, and we see it every day. And we've seen it in the history of police. We've seen the fact that the sheriff and the mayor and the posse, we know that mentality. Black folk know that, and there's perhaps some post-traumatic stress, but there's also some anarchists and some others that are peppering the old wounds and usurping reason and guiding and pulling people into something that's just really making no sense when we think about it. There are extremes, but in order to move forward to deal with those extremes, that's why we need to have community oversight over the curriculum, over everything from the start to finish, from recruiting to the deployment of officers. This is our opportunity to have direct community involvement. And I use the word oversight, because the police come to serve and to protect community. They are serving us. And so we need to be able to ask them, why are you doing this training? Why do we need to do that? Why are you going to this country to learn police training. We don't like the human rights. We don't like the human rights aspects of that country. We don't want you going there to train that way or to learn that tactic. We can be involved in it. And that's what we should be doing instead of calling on the abolishment of police. I don't want to live in a society where I came down 911. Before I leave my home, I cut on a alarm at my home so that if someone tries to enter my home, that alarm goes off and the police come. Don't let me get here. And the police have been abolished. ADT have nobody to call. And folk running roughshod and stole everything in my house, or stole everything in your house that's calling for the abolishment of it. So that's what I mean when I say that we're being usurped by some thinking that's really not grounded thinking. And we really need to think about, some of us, what we are buying into with this anti-government, anti-personal property, real community kind of move that's moving throughout our movements and our community today. That's all.
Well, brothers and sisters, you heard it from Big Papa. You heard it from me. And what we want to tell you is tune in next week to Straight Talk with yours truly, Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and Shanan E. Jones, better known to many as now Big Papa with his son Samuel. Samuel. And listen, you'll see at the bottom of the screen the email address, so you can email us. If you'd like to be on the program, we'd love to have you, hear your views and your opinion. Well, thank you so much. Until next week, this ain't been nothing but what? Straight Talk. And they call it Real Talk.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922 at Comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shanan Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.